Hey, y'all, I'm Shane Sams. Thanks for listening to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. Super excited to be back today and talking to another member of the Flipped Lifestyle community. But guess what? I've got 3 members of the Flipped Lifestyle community today. We've got Jessica, Liz, and Carrie. They are 3 sisters who are building a blog and an online business together. They are on a mission to start a community and a membership for women to help them make decisions and help them do life together. They've got an awesome domain name. It's called Rhubarb and Rubbish, rhubarbandrubbish.com. We're going to tell you what that means and why that's the name of their blog in today's podcast. And you know, Jessica, Liz, and Carrie came into this interview and they wanted to know about marketing and Facebook ads and all this driving traffic to their blog and website. But we actually didn't ever make it there. As I was listening to them tell me about their challenges, their obstacles, and struggles they were having, it became very clear to me that Jessica, Liz, and Carrie did not understand the result they were providing for their readers, for their listeners, for the future members of their community. They were not even clearly defined on who they were going to serve. And this is a problem we see a lot of online entrepreneurs fall into at the beginning of their journey. They know how they want to do things. They know all about the courses and trainings, and they know all this wisdom and knowledge that they can pour out of their brain into the world, but they don't understand what result they're trying to deliver, and they don't even understand who they're going to serve. So in today's Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, I'm going to help Jessica, Liz, and Carrie do just that. We're going to figure out the problem that they solve. I'm going to walk them through a framework and a process to figure out what result they are going to deliver. And then we are going to start the process of narrowing down their avatar and helping them figure out who they are going to serve. For anybody out there that's listening that's stuck, you got to figure out who you serve and what result you deliver before you even try to figure out how to do it. This is a problem that a lot of other gurus cause when they tell people blog first, social first, just put content out into the world. But the result you deliver and the people you serve should inform every piece of content you create. I'm going to show you how to figure that out today. This is a fun episode of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, y'all. I know you're going to learn a lot, and it's going to help you take the next steps toward your family's future. So turn the volume up, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. We're a real family that figured out how to make our entire living online. And now we help other families do the same. Are you ready to flip your life? All right, let's get started. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. It is great to be back with you again today. Super excited, as I am every single week, to talk to amazing members of the Flipped Lifestyle community to help them take their online business and their online dream to the next level. And I've got 3 guests today. This is going to be a wild show, guys. This is a wild bunch. I got Jessica, Liz, and Carrie. How y'all doing today?
Great. Glad to be here.
All right. So first of all, one of you, tell me a little bit about you guys, your background, what you're doing online, and your relationship to each other, and what we want to talk about today.
Sure. We are the ladies of Rhubarb and Rubbish. We are 3 sisters that are on a mission to live a more faith and family-centered life. We started blogging about a year ago and just have decided that we want to share our journey with others. And we have really come to realize the importance of community in that, which is why we're looking for a membership. And so I'm Liz. I am a college professor. I teach leadership and communication.
I'm Jessica. I am a real estate agent and a construction company owner with my husband.
I'm Carrie. I'm a farmer and a rancher, and I also own a hay grinding business with my husband and my in-laws.
I was joking off air. This sounds like the start of a joke, like a professor, a farmer, and a real estate agent walk into a bar, right? Like it's so funny. Like even just like looking, if you're all watching this on YouTube, like it's so funny how our siblings, we all end up doing such dramatically like different things, even though we all have like we have like the same value system. Like I've got 4 brothers, so there's 5 of us, but we're all like totally different, right? So like whose idea was it to be like, hey, let's put the farmer and professor and real estate agent on a blog and see what happens? Like, how did this thing even come to be?
That's actually a funny story. A couple of years ago, I was on vacation with my husband, and I was in the hotel room with our dog while he was doing some other stuff, waiting for him to come back. And I'm watching The Pioneer Woman. And I'm like, it's really cool what she's done. She started with a blog. Now she's got this show and she's got all this stuff going on. And this, all three of us have been talking just numerous times about how life was a struggle, et cetera. And so I called my sister, I called Jess first. And I said, Jess, you're the Pioneer Woman. We can do something like that. We can start a blog and we can share with people, life and whatever. And she's like, interesting story. I have a folder in my closet about a blog that I had started like a year ago. And I thought, oh, it's too much work. I can't do this by myself.
Oh, no way. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
And you hadn't even told anybody about it.
I hadn't told anybody. I tabled the idea. I thought it was crazy. I already had enough on my plate with all of my other endeavors, but then Liz called and that was the start.
Yep. And then we decided, it was so important to us what we were trying to do that we invited our sisters along, and Carrie came along, and so here we are.
That's amazing. Now, how old are you guys? I know this is a faux pas to ask people this, but so what's the age difference between you guys?
I'm 46, Liz is 44, and Carrie is 37.
37. Yeah. So you guys are pretty close in age, though. Actually.
Yeah.
My brothers we're so far apart. Like my oldest brother is 19 years older than me. And then I have another brother who's 18 years older than me, and then 9 years older than me. And then I came along and my dad was like, yeah, one more. And then I got a brother that's like 4 years younger. So we just are like, we span the eons. But it's weird that brother or sister relationship is one of those unique things that we all get to go through in life, because you have these like high moments and low moments, and like you're also different. Like when you first got on board, like with the blog, was there any conflict? Was there any like direction problems, or was it basically like, let's just all do our thing and see how it kind of melds together or whatever? Because I bet there's hundreds of other people, thousands of people right now listening to this going, man, I could do something with my brother, my sister.
I think the biggest thing that we found when we first started was, the intent. We all made these great lists about what we were good at, what each of us could bring from our different backgrounds, because we do have very diverse backgrounds in what we do on a day-to-day basis. And what we really found was that even though that's what we do on a day-to-day basis, where our true passion lies was somewhere else. And that's where we finally got to where we were at with focusing on faith and family, because that's ultimately what we want to just spend our time doing.
Yeah. And it's amazing too, because like, one of the things I always tell people is money makes the mission possible, right? Like we can love our job. We can enjoy our career. We can have a passion for something we do and enjoy that. That's fine. But it's all an ends to a means, whether it's offline, online, working for someone else, working for yourself. Like at the end of the day, you go home and you've got your kids and your spouse and your brothers and your sisters and your friends and your family. And I would love to hear how interesting it is to hear the different perspectives of how you balance those things as a professor. This is fascinating. Like you have these three unique perspectives, like a real estate agent running around hustling. You got the college professor dealing with so many people and researching, and you got your farmer out there like grinding hay. I don't even know what that means. Grinding hay as you grind it up for seeds, like that. And then, but at the same time, you're talking about this core value of faith and family. And just coming at it from a completely different angle. Tell me more about the name Rhubarb and Rubbish. Like that is a very unique and fascinating name. And like who came up with that? Where did that come from? Like I love the history of people's domain names when I see a cool one like that.
Well, I'll start with that one. That actually took us quite a while. Mm-hmm. I think we went, I don't know how many hours we spent trying to think of a name. And what we really wanted to convey, we wanted it to be catchy, memorable. And it really is. People are like, what is that?
Yeah, there's a little alliteration going on there too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But we chose that. And I think, Jess, you were the one that came up with it. Mm-hmm. And then the reason we said, yes, this is it, was because rhubarb, as a plant it's sour if you just eat it, but oftentimes we use it in pies and baking and make it sweet. And so it was the whole idea of sometimes life gives you the sour, but how can you take the sour and turn it into sweet? And then rubbish was just, sometimes we let junk accumulate in our lives and we just have to say it's going out. And so that's why rhubarb and rubbish.
That is awesome. And so tell me about the focus on the blog. Do you each blog in your own category? Do you blog like is it literally like a journal type blog where you're just like, this is the junk I'm dealing with, this is the sour thing I turned sweet? Like, do you have a schedule where you each rotate the blog out? Like, how does content flow from this thing?
We actually invest probably more time into developing that than most people. And maybe that's where our focus is, where we need to be redirected in some. We try to meet at least monthly or every other month. We sit down, we pick a theme for the month based on, saving grace, whatever it might be. We pick a theme and focus, and we hash out topic ideas so that we can put it together. We do series, and then we break the articles apart, maybe by one of us have had more experience in one area than the other. But
this is collaborative. You're actually collaborating on all of these different pieces of content and then going out and making the thing based on what each of you can bring to the table.
Right.
Yeah.
And part of that too is as we've gotten older, we have just recognized the importance of our sibling relationship. And, as much as work, shouldn't be the reason that we spend time together, it is forcing us in a very intentional way to spend time with each other, to really talk about deep issues that we're all struggling with. And, when you're talking about how do we all approach it, what we've found is that it might look a little bit different in our lives, but it's ultimately all the same problem that we're struggling with, and, coming together and being that support for each other. And that's what we want to do with the membership site, is to provide that support and that community that we're getting as siblings to other people.
So who's the best writer?
Well, that would have to be Liz, because she is an English major.
Okay. I got you.
She's got her PhD, so definitely she's got the tab on that one.
Who is the most sociable? Who's the biggest extrovert of the three of you?
I would actually probably say Carrie. Carrie can talk to anybody.
Okay. All right.
And for long periods of time, she has no problem talking to strangers. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Now, so Liz and Carrie, I want you to brag on Jessica. Tell me what she's great at.
She is really good. Jess has developed a number of businesses over her lifetime. She's very entrepreneurial. I tend to not be as much. Carrie is I'm probably the least entrepreneurial out of the three of us, but Jessica is very much, she understands the entrepreneurial part of it. She understands the business modeling, how do you put a business model together?
Operations, finances, not running out of money, those kind of things, right?
Yeah.
That's the number one job as an entrepreneur, by the way, is to, all right, I'm sorry, that's the number one job of a CEO, is to not run out of money. That's your only job, all right, when you're the entrepreneur. And so I ask these questions, but we're going to get into mindset and stuff here in a minute, but I just love the dynamic here. And it is fascinating to hear you say that, like, we meet and we create this content and we spend all this time on this content. And this is a trap, especially a trap for multiple people working together. It is a huge trap. That content is king. Content drives your business, but content is a trap, just like the Star Wars guy, right? Like, it really is. Like, it can suck you down a rabbit hole and consume all of your resources to where you can't grow a business, right? And it doesn't mean everyone can't participate in the process. That's not what that means. But like, when I hear you guys say, man, Liz is the best writer. She's the one who can pull it all together. Man, Carrie's the most sociable. She loves to talk to people and engage with people and do this. And Jessica's the most entrepreneurial in operations and money. Why are you not doing those three things? Like, imagine the magnification of your efforts if you met together and decided on the theme, but Liz totally took over, regardless of experience. Liz totally took over this other thing. Like, you could interview your sister for 30 minutes if she's more experienced, then go write a better article. And then Carrie is just like crushing relationship, like taking over social, engaging with people, like going out there and pushing everything to every social media network. And then behind the scenes, Jessica is just crushing operations and figuring out systems. And you just decide to draw this line. It will not make you work together any less. You still have to have team meetings. You still have to have these things. But like, delegation and division of labor is why companies succeed. It has nothing to do with one single person or everyone working on one thing, you know? Mm-hmm. So that would be my first, I think, from just listening to you guys right now, challenge is like, you know, when you get off this call, you know, don't be afraid to lean into your genius. It was so easy for you all three to tell me what each other's genius was. Why are you all focusing so much energy on one task? Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Total. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk. Okay, so that's the first thing. Just observations here. All right. Well, tell me about mindset now. Like, okay, so let's assume that we've decided to divide and conquer here. What an unfair advantage to build an online business and come into it with a COO type figure who's entrepreneurial and vision and running the business, a content manager and a social relationship person. Like, that's unfair. You guys are cheating, right? Like, everyone else listening right now says, where's my people? Right? You know, like, I'm calling my brother tonight. I'm calling my sister tonight. They're getting on board here. So that's this huge unfair advantage. So like, what other mindset struggles are holding you back though? A lot of times in business, it's not the strategy and tactics. You can find those, but like what's holding you back from blowing up this thing? Like, do you have a vision? Do you have a mission? Have you set that yet? Like where are you struggling mentally in this journey?
Well, I'll start off just saying we have a huge vision. I mean, we could see this community just as an amazing network of people being able to connect in, you know, the last year and a half for people around the world has just been a struggle to connect. But society, I think in general, between our busyness and the lives we lead, our jobs, and just how things have changed, finding a group to connect with that are like-minded, have the same focus is a struggle just on a local basis. You know, we have big dreams of someday turning this into, we're going to have conferences for women to come and meet and community, you know, have that community firsthand, even above having it online. So we have the dream. What's holding us back is
well, I think it's a couple of things. I think, you know, we've been trying to transition to a place where we have less on our plate so that this can be more. And just kind of that leap of faith that this is going to, you know, somehow fill that and support us in even a financial way.
Time is an obstacle right now because families, kids, sisters, community, all that stuff.
Yep. Yeah. And sure. I also think that we are, I think the area that we feel least confident in, and for a number of reasons, is the online, you know, while Jess is, you know, she's very entrepreneurial, we have tended to not be in the online atmosphere before. And so we just don't feel very confident in that area that we can market, that we, you know, I mean, we've done, I think in the last month or so, I don't know how many Facebook and, you know, Pinterest ads, and just really aren't getting traction. And we just feel really lost.
Yeah.
It's such an expansive world. I think online, just figuring out, you know, based on who our avatar is going to be, where should we be investing our time, and finding the right words, the right headlines, whatever it might be, that they are drawn in and come. You know, I think that's where we're struggling a little bit.
Yeah, this sounds, I think where we need to start then, like, this is usually an offer problem. Like, if you don't understand what words to use in ads, in blogs, it's 100% because you don't have a finish line. You don't have a result or a benefit for your people. Like, like, I can tell you exactly why you should listen to every episode of the Flipped Lifestyle podcast. If you want to make money online, start a membership and go replace your income so that you can spend more time with your family. That's what we do. Like, that's it. That's what we do. And like, everything now informs that. Everything I talk about, every email I send, everything has to point in that direction. If it's pointing anywhere else, it's probably wrong. Right. Mm-hmm. So I think that this is definitely an offer problem, but I hear an avatar problem. I mean, you know, I've already heard you say women. What does that mean? Right. Like, you know, it's very fascinating. And I actually wrote a note here, and I don't know if this is exactly where you want to go. Let's try to niche down the women thing a little bit. Right. But like, I wonder if you should target sisters. Like I wonder, imagine if every person that joined brought their sister, And like, it's still women, it's still sisters going through life together. They've got their own families, they've got their own careers, they've got their own jobs, but it's like reuniting with your sister and doing life together with your sister, right? I just wonder if that would help focus everything, because gosh, can you speak to that better than anybody else probably. And then and imagine how many millions of sisters are either going through this or would love to reconnect. And imagine how much conflict exists between siblings, especially people our age in our 40s, late 30s, who are starting to I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day. We were like, we're raising our children who think they're adults, and then we're supporting our adult parents who sometimes are acting like kids. I'm just saying, mom and dad out there, come on, guys. You know what I mean? Y'all are getting a little unruly on me these days, right? I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? Like we're in this weird spot, right? Like where we're supporting both ends of the generations, But just all these things that only sisters and brothers go through together, I just wonder if that could crystallize it and help us come up with better benefits and results. Like imagine this benefit. If you join our community, okay, so first they're drawn to Jessica, Liz, and Carrie because, wow, Jessica, Liz, and Carrie are women with careers, disparate careers. They're dealing with life just like I am. I'm drawn to that. That's a light to a flame. That's a flame I'd like to be drawn to, right? If you're a woman out there. And then you find out there's sisters working together and you're like, gosh, I would love to have a better relationship with my sisters. And I'd love to be in a community where sisters are talking about this together. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all have brothers or just ladies?
Just girls.
Yeah. So I'm even that's the niche. It's like you're looking for, women in their 30s and 40s who are also sisters, maybe live near their sisters, and they're just trying to do life together, and people don't get the conflict or the discussion or the you don't understand me, I'm an insurance agent, you don't understand me, I'm a farmer, or whatever, you know what I mean? That could be a way to niche down, I think. And then you've got easy results. The results are like, okay, we're going to do life together, we're going to focus on faith and family, we're going to do it as a extended family, as sisters, with boundary. How do you set boundaries? How do you know when to step over the boundaries because someone needs you? How does that feel? I'm just saying things out loud right now at this point.
I don't think we've ever thought about that.
No.
As a possible avenue. We've really just been focusing on, the struggles we all three have that are in common, which is we're trying to have a balanced life where faith and family is first. So I don't think we ever considered.
Now take that, right? Take those problems and challenges you all have. Pretty sure, knowing you guys now, you call each other when those problems come up. Right? Like who's the first person you're calling, right? Like you're calling your sister. So it's like, it's that place, and imagine how easy it would be to call your community. You would just call them sisters. Like, how people will name their communities like people, like flippers, flip your life. We don't call people that. I actually call our people, I always talk about our people. I call them lifers. I'm like, they're doing life. And they're in the flip lifestyle mindset. Let's go, baby. We're here for life. Let's go. Right. But you could call your community, you could call each other sisters. Right. And they would, and then they would get their sisters to join. And then you would just spiral somehow out of control into this thing. And that result is, how do you guys do it? You just teach people how to connect, how to talk, how to connect with your sister on a deeper level. What happens when, and then you can start talking about different things as you're experiencing them. You might not be experiencing it, but what happens when mom and dad need to go to a nursing home? How do you maintain that relationship? What happens when a parent dies? How do you maintain that relationship? There's a lot of ways you could go in that, to be able to narrow down that avatar. But the moral of this story is, if you can't point to the exact result you will deliver in your membership, you might as well not even launch it. Community is not a result. Community is a tool that we use to get a result in a membership site. So you can't just say the result is community. That's not true. It's content, community, and leadership. Those are the tools that we use to get people the result, whether it's learn how to play a guitar, hang out with your sisters and make decisions better, or start an online business. Have you thought about those results yet?
The results of the membership site?
Yes.
Yeah. I think we want the members to have a place where they feel supported and encouraged.
So supported and encouraged to do what?
To just do life, to just deal with whatever is coming, to make decisions where, they're putting faith and family first. One of the things we talk a lot about is, well, we feel this pressure, because we have the experiences that we do, we get asked a lot of times to be on committees or to volunteer or to do certain things. And, that pressure we feel to say yes when we actually need to say no, because it's what's best for, both our personal faith and what's best for our family. And so, encouraged and supported to help make those decisions. What else am I missing, girls?
And providing the tools too. I think that sometimes in the world we live in,
tools to do what?
Kind of like the tools to help you work through the process. If you are trying to weigh out what is best for your career, what is best for making decisions on serving on committees, how are you going to find time to focus on your faith and family? Those tools that can help you walk through there from a biblical aspect of it would be the other component we have been looking at.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
for example, we developed a first segment of a series of courses, and the first segment is called Thorns and Thistles. And we go in from a biblical perspective and talk about the purpose of thorns and thistles post-fall, and how God uses those to get our attention, that we may have something growing in our lives that isn't helpful or beneficial, or how he can use those actually to glorify him. And then we walk them through a process of identifying those thorns and thistles and discernment as to how is God using those in our lives, and how, once we realize what the thorns and thistles are and their purpose in our lives, how do we make those decisions to, this is actually not beneficial in my life. I need to make steps to remove this from my life. And then the purpose of the community would be to help support. Okay, I've discerned that this is no longer good in my life. I'm growing a weed and it stinks. How do I get this out of my life, and how do I find that support? So
everything you just said was process. Process will have nothing to do outside of your membership. You know what I mean? Like, you can't sell your membership with process. You just can't. It's people try to focus on process a lot, and people get overwhelmed, and people just don't care. Like, that you have to focus on the result. But listen, I took notes there where you're talking, and I hear the things about faith and family and do life and all that stuff. Like, if I went up to you and said, will you join my community if we can do life together? Would you join my community? Probably not, right? Because there's no result there. But you guys said 4 times in that, I might be 3, rewind me and y'all can check me later. But you said make decisions. You said the word make decisions. That is a result. I am stuck at a fork in the road and I cannot make a decision, right? That is and the thorns and thistles concept, or that's clear. That's actually clever, not clear. Like, I get it, but like, that's not what people, if you say thorns and thistles to people, they're not going to understand what you're saying, right? Like, that course should be called like how to use the problems in your life to make better decisions. Like, that's, and then you can talk about the concept of it within the course. Like, if you go into the Flip Lifestyle Blueprint, you'll see very directly that it says how to find your idea. It doesn't say light bulbs and lollipops or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't say that. It does not, because that doesn't win. Clear wins, right? But imagine if your website said this, though. I don't know why I'm stuck on this sisters thing. I would assume when you guys need to make a big decision, you talk to each other, right? I would assume there are many decisions you have to make together too, about family and faith and kids and whatever, right?
We do.
We help sisters make decisions for themselves and with each other. And that's a very rough, what we call a 1-sentence persuasion. There would be a descriptor under it that says, like, like, are you finding conflict with your sisters? I wouldn't say siblings, I would say sisters, because you guys are sisters, and it's better to niche down. But like, that feels more like a closer to a result you could promise for people. When you get into the community, you'll have tools like you clearly use the Bible to make decisions. You use each other to make decision, wise counsel. You use these things to make decisions. I think the bigger result is get unstuck when you're frozen in the decision-making process. That is not sexy. That's just the way to say it. But it sounds like that's what you're trying to help people do. You're trying to give people a community where they can go, full of people who get them, AKA sisters, other sisters, and who they can talk to and get unstuck in decision making and get unstuck from your rhubarbs and get unstuck when you're covered in trash and rubbish. And that feels more like what the actual result is. Like never be stuck in your decision making again, basically. Which is a powerful benefit. I mean, how many of y'all listening right now are stuck somewhere? You know, I mean, think about it. Let's break the fourth wall a minute. There's a lot of people stuck in decision. I was stuck yesterday in 10 decisions. My mom, my parents have both got COVID and both were going into the hospital like yesterday.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I mean, it was heavy. Like it was like, you know, and I have, you know, a full slate of appointments and I've got a business and I've got kids and I've got this and I've got that, right? Like all these things were happening. Who did I call? All four of my brothers. Those were the people I called because we were stuck. Right. And, you know, but I think there's a lot of people who don't know how to do that. There's a lot of people with brothers and sisters that wish they had that kind of relationship to band together to make calls and who's in charge and whatever. Maybe you guys could teach people that. That'd be pretty powerful. Imagine if you could save 10,000 sisters relationships in the course of your membership to where at the end of their life, they're still together. That would be pretty powerful, you know?
Yeah. As you're just talking, and I don't know about you guys, but, you know, I talk to a lot of people who have siblings who do not have good relationships with their siblings.
Oh, trust me. I know. Yeah, it's crazy.
And I think actually that's something that there's actually four of us. There's one sister that isn't in on the blog just because her life circumstances didn't allow for time to do that. But we all talk regularly. We actually get together every summer for family camp where all of our families come back and we rent this kind of
it's a youth camp
and we just swarm in there for a whole weekend.
Wait,
and
do you mean is Thanksgiving actually fun for you guys? Do you guys like holidays and spending time together?
We're one of those strange families that yes.
So do you think do you think there are people that go home at night and go, man, I have a terrible relationship with my sister or sisters. And like, those are women. That was your initial instinct, was to support women and their family. And they all have individual needs too. This is not like the overarching thing, right? The core benefit is helping you make decisions for yourself and with your sisters. Right. But like, you know, the concept of sisterhood in general, like extends beyond even your relationship. It could be something like a community, right? Like you could, like I've got a mentor named Aaron Walker, who I really respect. He's got a membership. It's Masterminds. But like, it's kind of like it's a weird membership. It's like there are pods of 10 and then they come together as a bigger community, but they call each other brothers, right? Like there's a reason we say those things. The Bible's filled with my sister and my brother in Christ, whatever, you know. That's pretty powerful. You know, I mean, that would be a result I think you could get, and I think every piece of content you've ever created or will create would support that mission, you know? And I'm not telling you to pick anything, but the concept here is, do you know your result? Do you know who you serve? I don't think you guys can go any farther until you say, this is the decision we make. Like we can't talk about marketing. We can't talk about ads. We can't talk about guesting strategies or networking. We can't talk about it until you guys have went back to the drawing board and like, who do we serve and what is the result we deliver in this community? Yeah. Yeah. I know that may not be the answer you wanted to hear. I know you're like, but which ad platform is the best, right? Like that's the fun questions. But how does that feel when I say that out loud? Other than
we really have somewhat struggled with that niche because we started with this just broad base of we're just going to help women, but not every woman is looking for the same thing. And where we started off, this has been a journey and a process for us to date too. I mean, we have found and discovered things about ourselves, which has been amazing.
Another amazing reason to start an online business. Period.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I think part of the other, when you go back to the decision-making part of it, it's hard and we get stuck, but we also are fearful to make decisions in life. Yeah. We just are. We're afraid that what is that? What is going to happen on the other side of that decision? Is it where we want to be? And having that support and that guidance is just huge. And knowing that no matter what your decision is, you're going to be fine.
Everything is going to be okay.
Yeah.
One way or another. And that fear on the other side of decisions holds so many people back. And Jocelyn and I are in a season of growth right now in our business. We're really taking some massive risks, like with hiring and money and all these things. And it's just kind of like, we just made it to this point where we're like, it could all go horrifically wrong. And we just don't know anymore. Like, knowing the result has completely left all of our team meetings. We just don't know how any of this is going to play out until we do it. Right. And you've got to be able to just go out and do those things. If you're ever going to change anything, you got to take a chance, you know? Liz, you were about to say something, I think. What were you about to say?
Well, I was just going to say, this is actually, I'm super pleased at this conversation because I think that's been our problem is when we look at ourselves and what we're doing, it's very insular, and we have not had a lot of outside feedback about what we're doing and what we're trying to do. And so having another pair of eyes looking in on us and seeing what we're doing and from an outside perspective is very helpful. We're not at all, it takes a lot to offend us, actually. And so it makes sense to me. We keep going back to, well, why aren't we getting subscribers? Why aren't we doing this? And we keep having this conversation. It's something simple. It doesn't have to do with the platforms. It doesn't have to do with, it's something that we're just not portraying. And this is very helpful.
Yeah. You got to do one thing. You got to plant your flag. Like everyone knows that I'm the membership guy. Right. Like that's just, they know that we do memberships, and like people will like, I wish you talked about other things about memberships. I'm like, if I did, I wouldn't be here because that's not what we do. That's our thing. We teach online business as a general strategy. Like you would connect women as a general strategy, but like I teach you how to start a membership. I want you to have 1,000 people paying you $50 a month. Let's go. Like, and if we can get there, we can get there. If we can't, we can't. But that's what we're going to do, And like, and also too, it's why we are so focused on community. Like you just said it. Like all you have to do every day is post in the forums in the community, and you'll get more than my eyes on it. I'm not the smartest person in the Flip Lifestyle community. I will tell you that right now. There are people in there making more money than me. There are people in there got more members than me. There are people in there executing at a higher level than me. That's the awesome thing about it, bringing a community together, is you get to tap into the collective. And man, like I tell you what's hard about being a brother or a sister for me. Like I was just sitting here thinking, like, I wish there was a brothers membership like this, because like in this weird world that we live in, you've got your clan, your tribe, that's your family, like your brothers or whatever. But if you have conflict, you can't really tell people in your local community because you don't want to know there's family fighting. And you don't really want to, like, there's not, and sometimes your peer group is in your community, but even if you have friends in other places, you don't really talk to them because maybe they've got sisters, maybe they're co-ed, maybe they're whatever, maybe you're watching them on Facebook and their brother's always golfing and hugging, and you don't want to tell them that you're struggling with your relationship. Right. And it just festers alone, and to have a place where you could go, even if they don't bring their sister along, like they're just a sister. Maybe that's how it plays out. They need a place where other sisters are wrestling with this and other people of faith, and they have a safe space where nobody's, you're not going to have the grassroots rumor mill start swirling at church Sunday morning, about how, you guys are fighting or whatever, I mean, that could be pretty powerful. I'm not saying that's what you have to do, but I am going to, the homework I would give you as soon as you hang up is get on a whiteboard and say, what result are we going to provide to our members, period. Right. And then who are those people? The how is irrelevant. You're going to figure out the how. But you've got to know the result first. So that's my challenge to you guys. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
That's awesome.
Love it. Well, listen, I would like to thank you guys for being so transparent as sisters coming on here together. These conversations, man, I just get so excited every week. They're all so different. Like that was a total, I've done 600 Flip Lifestyle podcasts. I've never had 3 people, I don't think. Oh, I did one time. We did a mastermind, but I've never had 3 siblings come on and share with the Flip Lifestyle audience and community. And I know a lot of people out there got a lot of value out of that. There's a lot of people right now that just wrote down, what result do I provide? That's going to change some people's lives. So thank you guys for being great sisters and coming on here and talking about that today.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, y'all, that wraps up my interview with Jessica, Liz, and Carrie. Man, what an amazing thing to see sisters out there trying to build an online business together. We've helped thousands of people start, build, and grow online businesses, and we would love to help you do it too. We've got a free resource called our Online Business Quick Start Guide. All you have to do to find that is go to flippedlifestyle.com/free. That's FLIPPED, lifestyle.com/free, FREE. And you can get access to our Online Business Quick Start Guide right now. It's going to help you find your idea. It's going to help you figure out who you serve. It's going to help you overcome all the fears, mindset issues, and obstacles that are in your way and keeping you from taking your next steps toward a better future for your family. Everybody that registers for the Online Business Quick Start Kit is not only going to get access to a bunch of great training, we're going to put you in a Facebook group where you can hang out with other people who are trying to start, build, and grow online businesses. That's flippedlifestyle.com/free. We'd love to help you start your journey today. All right, guys, we are about out of time for the podcast today. But before we go, we always like to close up the Flipped Lifestyle podcast with a verse from the Bible. Jocelyn and I get a lot of our inspiration and motivation in business and in life from the Bible. A lot of great stuff in there, man, that you can use to propel your life and business forward. And I'm super excited because the Rhubarb and Rubbish sisters have came with a Bible verse today that is very important to them. And Carrie is going to read about that, and they're going to tell us why it is important right now. Take it away, guys.
It's Matthew 11, verse 28 through 30. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and leave from me, because I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and every burden is light.
And why is that one important to you guys?
Our peace and joy comes from Christ, and we can rest in him no matter what.
All right, y'all, that is all the time we have for today's show. Thank you so much for listening to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. Hey, if you enjoy the show and we bring you value, if you love what we do here at Flipped Lifestyle, do us a favor. Head over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. Make sure you subscribe to the show, and heck, make sure you share an episode on your social media or tell a friend. That really helps us get our message out there so that we can help grow this community. We can bring you more amazing content, and we can help as many families as possible flip their lives upside down with online business. I'll be back with you again here next time. Until then, get out there, take action, and do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then.
Bye.
The professor, is that what it was? Was that
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I'm a college professor.
what do you teach?
I teach leadership and communication.
Oh, great. Are you going to judge me for my leadership and communication this entire call?
Not today.
Please,
Not
Liz,
today.
do that.